Hi everybody and welcome back to Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. In today's story, OP says his wife finally agreed to move out by next week. My wife and I had been married for 19 years of our 20-year relationship. We raised 2 adult children for my first marriage and have a 16-year-old son on the spectrum with epilepsy and a 14-year-old daughter. 1 month ago, my wife was telling me how grateful she is for me as a husband, father, and a supporter, both financial and emotional, of her dreams. She owns and manages a restaurant with her sister. I provided the primary startup investment for the restaurant, which she paid me back for. When COVID hit, the restaurant was forced to close down. My wife was devastated. She, along with me, followed daily news briefings and spent as much time as possible researching how long the shutdown was going to last and the financial resources available, etc. Since we were both online, we shared computers, phones, and accounts. One weekend, I noticed that she was suddenly more secretive in her behavior, while in her phone and her computer. After a bit of searching, I discovered a former 6th grade student, now 35, she taught many years ago, had reached out to her and they had several conversations and chats. While most of it was catch-up, there was some flirty back and forth between the two, equally participated. I confronted her and she admitted that they crossed some lines, but that they had apologized to each other and that she had to continue contact with him because he needs my help. She tried to make me feel better by saying that her sister, a therapist, would be on the next day's video chat and therefore I should not feel threatened. 4 days later, I discovered even more incriminating chats where they both expressed how much they are falling for each other and how it must be fate and spiritual. When I confronted her this time, she admitted she was falling for him and wanted to take a break from our marriage to pursue this man 12 years younger. She gaslighted me so many times over the next 2 weeks, justifying her EA, saying she wasn't really happy before. There were things that they shared about truth-seeking and geopolitical conspiracies that I never showed interest in, and that she prayed to God for guidance. And despite the pain she was causing me, she had a responsibility to pursue her own truth. She kept telling that she was being honest with me and somehow meant it wasn't really extramarital and that I shouldn't think of her that way. I asked her to see a counselor or talk to someone other than him to get some objective understanding of how could this happen so quickly, but she refused, saying she only needs to look inward to her own voice. I filed for divorce since it was clear that she didn't want anything to do with me. I didn't want to do it, still don't, and with COVID, everything is dragging since nothing is in person. Her plan is to stay in the same house with me for another 3 months until she could get a cheaper winter rental, but after the effects on me and our 14-year-old daughter who saw a therapist last week, she finally agreed to move out next week. The past 3 weeks has been excruciating because in addition to her still living here, she video called and telephoned him from our house all the time at all hours of the night. When I asked her not to do that and how much pain it caused me to hear her giggling on the phone from another room, she blames me of trying to control her. Eventually, she agreed not to video chat or call him from the house, but I've already found her 4 times in the last week doing it anyway. She says she feels bad for what she has done to me, but her behavior is so selfish and without concern for my feelings. I spent the first 2 weeks without sleep and food, lost 15 pounds, and since I have been able to sleep a little each night and eat some, but my stomach is still tied in knots. Our children are each struggling in different ways. My son is on the spectrum, and so he doesn't respond appropriately to normal human emotions. Sometimes he feels too much and sometimes he struggles to empathize. My daughter is as confused as I am, but she is extremely close to my wife, so she's been attached to at the hip to her throughout, and frankly, we've been strained because she's seen how hurt I am. My family has been very supportive and I'm grateful to them for seeing me through for the last 3 weeks. I'm still following the divorce process slowly and anxious for her to finally move out next week, hopefully. I am still bewildered, betrayed, and despite everything she's done, I still love her more than any other human being. I know I deserve better than I have gotten from her, but that doesn't really help me understand the fundamentals of how a 20-year relationship can end in 4 days. It keeps me up every night. I still write her notes, attempting to get her to talk to someone professionally to explore how this could have happened so fast. I took a week off from work during the worst of it, and now I'm back, but finding it hard to concentrate. I just need to hear from other people who have felt my pain and struggle as a husband and as a father. I'm trying to survive, but I find I'm managing the minutes and hours and not the days. End of part 1. We have the update coming up next. Please give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the story so far. Here is the update. First, I'm in therapy. I've been seeing a counselor for 15 years and ironically, my counselor was our marriage counselor when we went through a rough patch in 2007. Even though we reconciled, I kept seeing the therapist because I found it helped me cope with all kinds of life challenges. And obviously, since this all went down a few weeks ago, I've been in sessions a lot. My 14-year-old daughter just had her first appointment with the same counselor last Wednesday. I imagine it will continue for both of us. We have separated the finances. We only had one joint account and it's been closed out, and I have all the money since I'm the only one who brought any money into the household in the last 3 years. I get the master bedroom move, and if she wasn't moving out next week, I would probably be more assertive, but I'm trying to be reasonable in the hopes of it'll show good as we work to separate and the divorce is finalized. To be honest, I like the mattress in the guest bedroom better. I have not shown any anger towards her, and it's really probably more about the kids than anything else. I just don't want them to see us like that with each other. It's hard enough with what they are going to have to get used to maintaining separate relationships with us. I've been sharing my situation with family and friends, and it helps to have a support system that is as surprised, clueless, and angry as I am. She actually asked me what some of them thought the other day, and I responded, "What do you care? You don't care what I think. Why should you care about what any of them think?" Right now, she's still here and still texting him all day, while with my children, and out at all hours of the night, video chatting with him today from 3 to 5 a.m. Out of sight, out of mind. As far as the divorce proceedings go, I am on the phone with the courts every single day, pushing it through very slow and disconnected process, trying to get the judgment date, and once that's done, I will be feeling a lot better about being firmer with boundaries. Edit. If there is one thing that I'm not doing, it is dragging my feet. I'm in contact with the court system every day, trying to push through and do the paperwork even though they only work 2 days a week in the physical building. I have already closed joint accounts, securing finances, and all passwords and controls have been updated. I hope I didn't give the impression that while conflicted, I am pausing. I think it's possible to move things forward with a future as a single dad and stable financial system, while at the same time questioning how we ended up here. End of the story. Well, OP, since you are already in therapy, you are on your way to recovery. All the best to you. Before we go, let's see what the community has to say about OP's situation. Honest Interest says, "And when it all come crashing down on her because the grass wasn't greener, be prepared for the begging and don't let her choices destroy what's left of your family." OP's reply, "I've thought a lot about that. It's the only vision of the future lately that empowers me. I am assuming that as you say, it does come crashing down. One never knows." Lumped Buttcat says, "Sad, she's at a state of limerence. The stress she had from COVID, mundane family issues, your epileptic child likely spurned this. She was looking for escape from reality, so she sought and found this fantasy. So, unlike other fantasies, this has been fueled by an AP, someone real. So, think of AP either also in limerence or simply taking advantage. There are only two ways out of this. One way is somehow convince her to go NC for 90 days. Maybe convince her that if he really loves her, he will be there after 90 days, or get a real ugly kick her out, cut her off financially, etc. Usually time apart will get her back to earth. Needs to be complete NC. Other is let it run its course. This would likely be too late to save the marriage. As your WS passes through the stages of the fantasy, it will slowly replace with reality. My ex had an AP and I learned this from a really good counselor. What messed up the most is, when she snapped out of this years later, she was devastated. She is a complete mess and in a really bad shape now mentally, begging for forgiveness, second chances, etc. I'm past done, just tragic, no other way to explain. OP's reply: Oh my god, I was reading about limerence yesterday at length. You are correct. Of course, giving it a name doesn't help fix it. You are also right. I believe in combination of external factors as well as internal compulsive tendencies in a perfect storm of fantasies overshadowing the reality. I have thought about her future regret party and I want to be a fly on the wall, but I don't want to be invited. It's tragic, as it was in your case, when the Rubicon is crossed and no amount of regret and begging can reverse it. Thanks for sharing and for the advice. Please like, comment and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.